Everyone is getting very, very excited, and they're preparing for the U.S. ASEAN Special Summit. As you reflect on the U.S. relationship to ASEAN, Southeast Asia, and of course, Lao PDR, what makes you optimistic?
Well, optimistic, for me, it's the benefit of having been involved in this region for the last 25, almost 30 years. Much of that time in Lao PDR itself, and seeing the changes within the country, the positive developments within the country, and the positive developments in the U.S. for Lao relationship. This has been the most dynamic economic area in the world over that period, and Laos has participated in that from a very sort of low economic base to start with. They've had one of the most rapid economic growth rates in ASEAN for most of that period. And even during this COVID challenge the last couple of years, which hampered some of our activities because we had fewer visitors and such, I think the U.S. ability and willingness to partner with Lao PDR as well as with other partners in the region in fighting the pandemic, both in general health support and with vaccines, has just further cemented the partnership and the feeling of dependability in the relationship between the United States and Lao PDR and throughout ASEAN.
And why is it so important for Lao PDR to be a member state of the Association of Southeast Asian Nations?
Well, first of all, if you're going to have the most dynamic region in the world, you want to definitely be a part of it. And for Laos, which is a smaller country, smaller population, landlocked, sort of some challenges on the economic side, to be able to be linked in closely with this association with its immediate neighbors and with markets and countries close by is really an essential part of setting up a future of sustainable economic growth and bringing Laos to more prominence than it might have had been able to do by itself as part of this association. As you know, Jason, the ASEAN is a central pillar of the Indo-Pacific strategy of the United States and of the engagement strategies for many of the other large countries on the periphery of the region. And Laos, as a member of ASEAN, then participates in that engagement with the United States and with others.
And as you know, as we both know very well, we could list so many different U.S. government programs that have had an impact in Lao PDR. Could you share one with us?
I would be happy to share one based on my own experience. I first arrived in Laos in 1997 and spent 3 years working on what were counter-narcotics projects, but which were largely alternative development projects up in northern Laos, some of the poorest areas, very mountainous areas. And a key part of the project there in the two provinces we worked in was building a road back into mountainous areas that had never previously had a road, and thereby connecting those populations, those villages, out to markets, out to education and health services in a way they'd never had before. And I had a chance to visit these same areas just last year. And it was a great personal pleasure as well as professional pride to see the continuing benefits of the roads and the schools and the clinics that we put in over 20 years ago in these remote parts of Laos. As you noted, Jason, the relationship between the United States and ASEAN, and certainly including Lao PDR, has continued to broaden and deepen over the past couple of decades. And we now have assistance programs with Lao PDR that include broad health initiatives, education initiatives, nutrition initiatives, law enforcement cooperation, economic support, a whole plethora of activities. I wanted to relay the story of being down in the south, another major city of Laos, a few months ago, and meeting a young woman who had spent, I think it was less than 2 months in the United States on a fellowship program, met a mentor there, learned about some engagement possibilities in society, and came back, and along with her own career path, decided to get with two other alumni of U.S. programs and begin their own, essentially a small civil society organization to assist other young people with a focus on single mothers to help prepare them for successful careers, even with the constraints they face, with some basic English instruction, basic help with resumes and other preparations for job skills and entering the job world. And it was encapsulated for me what we look for in our exchange programs is to bring the capable young people of ASEAN out to get a few slightly different experiences and to compare notes with their peers and with others outside, and then to use their own talents to take those experiences and turn them into positive change and positive initiatives within their own country. The sense is that the relationship and the development in this region continues on an upslope, and we have great confidence that the partnerships and the development of the regions are only going to be more positive in the future.
Thank you, sir. I hope I get to have a return visit soon and meet you in person. Thank you so much for your time.
We'll look forward to that.